up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. Up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
So morning it is. It's a terrific Thursday. That means my partner this morning is Mayor Justin Green. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we're going to start off. We have a paid political paid for by Wes Bauer for Washington County Commissioner, right?
Yes.
Did I say it right? We have Wes Bowers in the studio. Good morning, Wes.
Good morning.
Happy Thursday, right?
That's right.
Yeah. All right, Mayor, let's thank our sponsors this morning.
Please, I want to thank Mediview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rose's, Fox Burley Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, McAllister Land Consulting, Springer & Springer Insurance, Schneck Hospital, and Temple & Temple.
Yay, thank you to our great sponsors. Guys, I do want to say that I got messages that I was supposed to tell you that you're 2 days away till Valentine's Day. Okay.
Wow.
Thanks for the reminder.
2 days, okay? You got 2 days.
2 days.
Yes. To
now,
be rock
some
stars.
of our stores are open 24 hours. So I'm hedging on a little more time.
Okay.
A little distance.
We shall
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
We shall see about that. Yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
All right. Anyway, I want to give a little bit of a reminder here. First of all, we do have a big day. Saturday morning, Mayor, you and I are going to be right over here at Walmart. Wes,
Sure are.
come on over and see us. We'd love that. And we're going to be doing Cram the Van.
Cram the van. We need to collect all the non-perishable items for the local food bank. What a day to do it. We're going to do a duo celebration, if you will. Happy anniversary to WSLM, Mr. Don Martin and family. And so, Becky, kudos for carrying the tradition on. And so we're going to do that recognition. And as well, hey, why not celebrate the food bank as well? We've had some rough weather. We've had some cold snaps. Cram the Cruiser is certainly something our law enforcement partners do, and would never step on their toes. That's a great event for the month of December. You and I thought, hey, let's piggyback, only in the sense because the need does not end. And so this season, this year, I think is a good example.
Yep.
And so, yes, Salem Walmart has been gracious enough to let us set up out front. You and I will be there collecting those donations, cramming the van, getting it as much as possible. I know you have a loose bet going that it'll be so bad I can't drive the van back home.
Yeah, I want to see him sitting on cans of corn and trying to drive the van to the food bank.
Yeah.
I want it so packed.
You know what? I'll accept that challenge. So here we go. Anyway, so please, from 9 to 12, is that right?
Yeah, 9 to noon.
Yep. You and I will be there, and so please, if you're so willing and on the east side of town, come out, say hi, congratulate WSLM on their 73rd anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And so,
yeah.
and again, we're going to recognize the season of giving, Valentine's Day. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek, if you will,
Uh-huh.
but let's give to the food bank.
Right. You know, I think that's one way to show love is by food, right?
Yeah.
And so how apropos, and it actually is a win for our community. You know,
Isn't
it's a
it?
win for all of us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they do have some items that they are in need of. They're in need of tomato sauce, crackers, rice, canned corn, which that's what I hope you are sitting on.
That's right. Case of corn.
Case of corn, green beans, soup, sugar, and oil.
There you go.
And of course, anything, they're very appreciative of anything, but those are just some of the needs that they're kind of needing right now. So, and we would love to see everyone stop by and just give what you can. I mean, very grateful for if everybody gave one can, that would be, you know, just fantastic. So, whatever you can do, we would be very appreciative of that. Then we have actually the Eastern Lady Musketeers from our county is going to be kicking it in, and they're going to do their thing, and I'm sure they're going to come back with a big W.
There we go.
You'll be possibly hearing the sirens again. Bring it on, right?
Right.
So the Eastern girls will be playing, and we're excited about that. And of course, a little bit to our sister right here, not quite in our county, but right there, Borden, they'll be playing too. So those girls, we want to wish them good luck too, and it's going to be a fun time for girls basketball, and that's on Valentine's Day. So we can tell that those athletic directors are men.
Now, wait, where are you going with this?
I wondered if I waited. Wes's eyes looked up. Wes is like, what? What did she just say? And then I was watching to see. Are you guys paying attention?
You know what? It's a productive day. We need to make the most of it. It's, you know, come on.
That's right. And then at 5 o'clock, we're all going to gather together for Outside of the Walls, their ministry. They're going to have a love dinner. And Wes, this is something that you and Jennifer might want to take advantage of, and it's wonderful. It's not actually taking advantage of. They would love to have you. It's a free lasagna meal, and you can find out more about all the great things at Outside the Wall. And it's a fundraiser. They'll be doing a silent auction and an auction and stuff, and it's a fun time. It's at 5 o'clock at Southern Hills.
I actually get lucky on that one because Jennifer is working that event.
Oh, well, there you go.
She's been involved with a lot of these organizations for several years now.
Yeah.
And that's what she told me the other day. I said, what are we doing for Valentine's Day? She said, well, I've got to work this dinner. Lovely. I'll be there.
Oh, and it's lasagna, Wes. I'm chomping at the bit for that. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, cut me a big square of that. Yeah, so, and what a beautiful ministry that is. They do so many great things in our community, and they're volunteers. You know, this is all volunteers, and you talk
all
about
of them.
Yeah. So
Do a lot of good work.
yes, and so anybody that is not familiar with Outside the Walls, this would be a great opportunity to come and find out all about them. So yeah, so I'm glad you're going to be there, Wes. Yes, and Mary, you're going to be there too.
I am.
Yeah.
I am planning to be at least 2 or 3 steps ahead of you because, you know, if there's a shortage, now come on.
Yeah, because I'm going to go. I'm going to really try to get a big square.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. So you
I
better,
understand your
Wes,
angle.
you better plan to be ahead of Becky White too.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, that's right. You guys, there she is in line. I'm kidding. Anyway, it's going to be fun, and I'm happy, and I hope we have a huge turnout. I think that'll be great. Again, hats off to Southern Hills for what a beautiful facility we have in our community for letting them have it for free. So it's everybody working together. Isn't that just awesome? You know, and you see so many people in the community doing things like this, and that's where I feel like it's so valuable. So let's jump in, and this is a good segue into Wes talking about our good community, and you have been, a little bit of history. Let's meet you a little bit. Tell your history of your story.
Oh, well, that's I'm starting to get a little old, so you know it's lengthened. That's
okay.
It's not as easy as it used to be. But I was born and raised here. I went to Salem High School. That's where I graduated. I grew up on the north end of the county, out Haley'sburg, Millport area. And a couple months after graduation, I left. I went in the Marine Corps. I stayed there for the next 12 years, doing various things. Lived overseas for a few years. Kind of bounced all over the world in different capacities. Decided to come home, create a situation that was a little more family friendly, because I was moving a lot at the time, and came back, went into business for myself, and have been doing that pretty well ever since. That would have been in 2011, and like I said, I've been running a business here in the county, doing a variety of different things, mostly construction, um, and that kind of sums it up. My wife Jennifer, I've got two kids, Savannah and Hayden. Uh, Both my kids go out to West Washington. We're pretty involved with the school out there as well. She does a lot of volunteer things. She spends a lot of time around the kids, and I coach football, have for the last several years out there, working with the boys. Other than that, it's pretty boring, pretty vanilla, about like everybody else.
No, there's nothing boring about any of that. But I think it's awesome. So like when you were in the Marine Corps, I'm sure you were like, there's no place like home. I'm sure that you were ready to get back. Isn't it?
Well, I tell people, a lot of it depends on the level of uncomfortability, as far as where you're at. But a lot of, and I don't think it was just me, but I think a lot of guys, they kind of make that their safe space in your head, you know, and that's I always refer to Salem as Mayberry, you know, and because that's when people would ask me, and you know, you serve with all kinds of people, people from big cities and all over the place, and they would ask me about it, and that's, you know, they kind of help me come up with that, but that's how you keep it to I guess deal with the things that you're doing while you're out, or the movement, or being away, and even if you can't be there physically, you kind of go back there mentally whenever it's needed. So yeah, it's hung with me for a long time. And then whenever we decided to get out, my wife is originally from Florida, and we looked at it and we decided to come back here and settle, and thought it'd be a good place to raise our kids, and here we are.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you said that, because there's a lot of positives, and I'm glad to hear that, you know. And I was talking with a lady the other day, and her husband. This is a cool story, real quick. Her husband's working down south, okay, and so he moved here. They're from Ohio, and he went and he checked all the area, like different areas. And I'm not taking away from any other area, but he fell in love with Salem, and so she said we landed here. And she said, I know nothing about this place.
It's becoming more and more common.
I mean, and I'm thinking, what a huge blessing. That was a huge, you know, compliment for our county, you know, to have that, you know, that here, you know, for him to pick for his family. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, I run into that quite often. We do a lot of different kinds of work, of construction work, but we do cover residential as well. And you'd be amazed how many people that I get phone calls from. And well, I moved from here. I moved from there. I've had people from California. I've had people from the Carolinas. Florida. I mean, it's amazing. I'm like, same question you asked. I'm like, how did you wind up here? But I think there's some things about our county and our community that we take for granted. And
absolutely,
you know, I've always said that, you know, for our youth, our kids graduating, whether they go off to college or they go out into the world, they should take some time and see some of these other places, because it gives you a perspective on what you have, and what you have here is pretty good. And you know, it's a safe place to raise a family. Everything's pretty low key. You know, it's comparatively across the country, it's reasonable financially to live here. You know, there's a lot of pros to it, and that's ultimately why we ended up back here, and a big part of the reason why I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do here.
Right. And we're going to jump into that, but let's first of all, you know, some of it's cool to see, though, you know, and the mayor and I talk about this, to see how, like, all of the tools that have gone in your toolbox, getting you ready for the step that you're making, you know, and talking about, like, some of I guess the advantages that you have, and you feel, or your strong points, if you will, is you're used to a lot of, and explain some of that, like some of the, like as far as like knowing when your construction, building, and knowing like how to do that, and how to.
Yeah,
those are like.
I understand. That's pretty much been since I was about 19 years old. I mean, in in one facet or another, I've been placed in charge of something, whether it's because I was being taught and groomed for leadership positions, or I was in another country and I was charged with doing X, Y, and Z because our country obviously has its goals in those countries. I got put in a lot of those positions before age 30, and that's,
Which is young.
well, I mean, you do 20 years in the military, the average person retires at 38. So your leadership there, comparatively to the rest of the world, is very young.
Yeah.
But they like to keep it that way because physically you're still able to complete the task. So you kind of have to grow up. You have to mature, maybe at a little higher or a little faster pace, just to not that anybody there's special, but just to complete the task that they're giving you. And then, like I say, whenever I came home, I mean, the things we've done now, I mean, most of the stuff that are being talked about or complained about or whatever you hear when you're out having lunch here in town, is pretty normal stuff for us. Currently we're building a lot of homes within the county, but we've done a variety of different projects, and we do a whole bunch of different skill sets within the company. But I've done a lot of stuff with the state. I've done a lot of stuff with municipal. We've done large subdivision type utilities. We've built campgrounds. We've done. I mean, it just goes on and on. A lot of commercial stuff. Here in town. I mean, both of these ladies that you have on here, I've been in both their facilities a lot.
Meadowview and Salem Crossing is what you were talking about.
Oh yeah, well the company I was working for the overarching company that owns, which is American Senior Communities, and I've been to pretty much anyone around here that you can drive to, all the way out as far as like French Lick, but yeah, I mean I have a good understanding of that. I can read the prints, I understand contracts, I understand budgets, I understand all the the basic stuff that goes along with doing that, because in the end, I mean, if you can read it and you can digest it, it's not a super difficult thing,
Right.
It's just steps like anything else.
Well, I would think, what a commissioner. I mean, I would think these tools would. I think they'll be. I don't think everybody, of course, until you get into the position, and in anything you take on and anytime you step out. Which is big to step out, right? This day and age, it is. And so, to do that, and I think the commissioners, you have to understand some of the things that you're talking about, that you feel like you get a little bit of advantage on that?
100%. Yeah, you have to you have to have a certain IQ on how these things are done. Now, moving back, do you have to be an engineer? Do you have to be a project manager to be a commissioner? No, I mean, just like with any other leadership position, you sub things out, you hire people in to come in and help you. You have people, department heads and such underneath you that, I mean, these people do it every day. Right. Now, your knowledge, the reason it's good to have more knowledge in those kind of areas is you don't have to take their word. You understand it as well. So when these people are coming back and they're reporting to you that this was done, that was done, we're at this point, or this is why we need to change this, and etc. You understand it. It's not, well, I've hired this engineer, this guy from this company, whatever the case, has came and said we need to do this. I don't know any better, so I guess I'm going to take his word for it. And that at times can create problems. But is it necessary that that person be able to go out and physically pour your concrete or physically frame that building up or set trusses or dig in your sewer system or whatever project that you're on? No, it's not. But you need to have enough of an education to understand that it's being done fairly and it's being done correctly. And when those people charged with overseeing those projects for you come back, you can speak at that level, and I think that makes you much, much more effective in that role. I mean, obviously, we understand that that's not the only things that
Right.
that role does, but it is a large part of it, and it's where a lot of the money goes because infrastructure is expensive.
Mhm.
You know, everything's expensive. I mean, just buying a home these days in this country
Oh,
has
sure.
gotten, you know, we're not playing in the same ballpark that we were in 15 years ago.
No.
And it's no different for those kind of projects. So yes, I think that the more of an understanding and the more you have the things like I see on a daily basis that we're talking about, um, the better off you are.
Mhm.
Just to make, if nothing else, to make informed decisions, because your job's not to swing a hammer; it's to be a good steward of the money of the taxpayers.
Right.
And the better you are at one, the better you can be at the other. So
Well, and I think that's very valuable, and I think money, everybody works too hard for the money, not to, for it to be spent wisely.
agreed.
And I think that that's something that the community, when you're elected an official, you have such a responsibility,
Hmm.
in that to be good stewards of the money.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, and you know, it's part of the reason why I'm sitting here.
Well, I looked it up. Okay, a commissioner acts as a high-level official responsible for overseeing operations, setting strategy, and making key decisions within a government agency, board, or department. They manage public, control budgets, and enforce policies, often serving between government entities and the community. Um, so it looks like what we're just talking about.
Yeah.
All of the things that a commissioner, it's important to know, when, anyone that has, we have, I mean, we have everybody that's in the race now, but it's important to know what all it entails, and to be sure that you are prepared and ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at this a lot. I've thought about it a lot, and I feel very strongly that between what came from the military, the things I was taught, and the things I learned there, and you know, coupled with running a business for a decade and a half, um, you just naturally learn things. You know, nobody's great at it in the
Right.
beginning, and I'll tell you now, whenever I first started doing this, I wasn't very good at it. And it might not even have been the work, but you know, it might have been the back end. It might have been the bookkeeping. It might have been the invoicing. I didn't understand taxes. I didn't understand insurance. So, you know, you kind of you take your lumps and you get kicked along the way, and that's how you learn these lessons to get to the point um, where you're successful. And uh, believe believe me when I tell you, we've taken our fair share of lumps over the years. And but that when people speak now, you know, like I watched a commissioners meeting the other day, and they had their gentleman in there from Nat Miller, I believe, for their county insurance, and he was talking about different. I understood everything that he was saying. I mean, it's just part of it,
Right.
and it becomes things that I guess maybe foreign to some people. It just becomes an everyday part of your business.
Uh-huh.
And there's a lot of things that are that way that I would think lend to doing a good job there. And then, you know, obviously the other side is where I grew up and where I learned how to lead was a very, let's just say, outspoken organization. You didn't have a lot of wallflowers sitting in there. You didn't
Yeah.
have people that, well, I don't agree with this, but I really don't want to make a stir because I'm just going to sit back. And it's not how that thing functions at all.
Mhm.
So to be honest, I don't know how to do that.
Mhm.
Um, and when you couple all those things together, I think I could be extremely effective at doing this job because you do oversee a lot. It is a lot of work, and there's a lot of that office reaches so much farther than what people give credit. And I just put out a video last night. I put them out regularly on Facebook. Is sometimes as updates, sometimes as more education than anything. And what I was talking about was the boards within the county, and I explained where people could find those, where they could, so that they could understand what they were, who was on them, and why they're important. The appointment process from commissioners or council members, and how they take other people, not themselves necessarily, and place on these boards. And when you take the fire districts out of the scenario, there's a couple of them on there. There were 26 other boards in this county consisting of 120 people. Now, some of those 120 are, you sit on boards, Justin, the commissioners, councilmen sit on boards, but a lot of those people were appointments, meaning you didn't vote for them. It means the guy that you're trusting, that you voted for, picked those people, or the commissioners as a whole did, you know, the three, or the county council, and put that person there. So if that person is exercising certain duties on that board, whether it's making changes to whatever thing it is that board's designed to direct, or they're spending money, and there's a few of the boards in this county that spend a great deal of money. There's a great deal of money that goes through them. There's a lot of assets that go through them, and I think the general person has no idea. I mean, I had a list, and I was just looking at it last night, and I took it to my parents. My parents are nearly 70 years old. They stay pretty up on what happens in a county. They read things, you know, they watch the political movements, and in a lot of cases, they had no idea. Let me see that list. Let me see that. And I'm going, okay, well, you know, you've lived here your whole life, and you know, your retirement age, and you don't know what I'm presenting, which is something so easy to find. It's right on a county website. And I'm I'm thinking to myself, well, how many other people don't know this? So I'm trying to educate as well along the way, because I don't want to be the guy that knows everything. I would like for the public to be educated enough to understand when your elected officials are doing a good job. And at the end of the day, you can't play the game if you don't know the rules. And I want everybody to know the rules, because what that does is it holds the people in office accountable for doing the right thing, for doing your job, which is speaking for the people that put you in office and being a good steward of the taxpayers' money. I mean, those two things right there pretty well sum the job up. I mean, regardless of any other conversation about projects and departments and leadership, those two things right there.
I think you bring up some good points, because I have to agree. It's been years, but I don't think a lot of people understand. Well, I don't think a lot of people understand all that goes into it.
No, that is a very true statement.
And know that, like, when, you know, as commissioner and as mayor, and then, like, you know, I'm on the school board and also run a business too. All of the boards that we're on, and all the meetings that, you know, because you have 3 commissioners, and Wes, you'll be you'll be hitting a meeting almost every night you'll be going to. I don't think people understand how many boards we have, you know, on that. And that's something that they divide up as commissioner, and it is amazing. But I think we're in a different day. I think people do want to know. I think years ago people just didn't. I'm not saying they didn't care, just didn't realize all of this. And I think now we're more transparent. We're seeing boards being recorded for those that used to miss it, but now they can go back. I think people have it's a whole new. I mean, like Stephanie Rocky said that first day that putting your name in the hat, she had a line when she pulled in, like waiting. This is so obviously everybody's getting more involved now, you know, right? And stepping up and wanting to know more.
I would like to think so. And I think that it's not that the ones that don't understand, it's not that they don't want to know, it's they don't really know where to start or how. And it's, I can't remember where excuse me, I can't remember where I wrote it, whether it was my article in the or my questionnaire in the Times or one of the videos I did, but I said, you know, if a person comes to your meeting If I'm sitting there as a commissioner and a person comes to a commissioner's meeting, um, you're you're supposed to solve problems.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what you do. You're a fixer. You're not physically going to be the guy out there filling the pothole in the road. You're not physically. You orchestrate. You're a manager. Um, and when the public comes to you with a concern or they come to you with a problem, it's your job to listen. I mean, those are the people that put you in office. It's not your job. Oh, that doesn't matter. Well, you don't understand. Well, then educate them,
Yeah.
because that's your job.
Mm-hmm.
And when they have an issue and you understand, because you can't make everybody happy, and sometimes people, when people are passionate, they get a little sideways sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and I do too.
But I do
But
love passion.
I do, but sometimes
I do love passion.
sometimes it blurs the rationality of the situation,
Uh-huh.
and
By chance misguided.
there you go. That's maybe a better word. But here's the deal: is if that person brings you a problem and you understand that you can't fix that, or you can't help that, or you can't do that thing that they want you to do, in that position, you at least owe them an explanation
Mhm.
as to why. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you ask me, the biggest problem that we have right now, that is it. I hear this everywhere, and I move around a lot for my job. I'm in people's homes. I'm in a different restaurant having lunch every day. I talk to a bunch of people in the course of my day, and it, it's sad to me because they blanket statement everything. I mean, I'm sitting here. I got my reusing my bank folder, and I'm sitting in the bank yesterday, and I hear the same thing. I mean, I can't even go get money out of the bank without hearing, you know, it's a mess. Everything there's dirty. It's corrupt. That's all I hear when people talk to me, and I have a lot of people go so far that see me on a regular basis, whether hardware store or whatever. Why would you even want to do that? Why do you want to be in that mess? It's such a mess there. And I'll say two things about that, because I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to accuse people or this, that, or the other. But I think that at times the lack of communication makes it appear that way to people. Even if you're doing nothing wrong,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not willing to sit down and have a conversation or explain to a group why you can or cannot help them, it gives the perception that you're shady, that you've got something to hide. And, I don't know if people do or they don't, or what their personal motivations are, or what kind of actions they're taking, because I'm not sitting in the seat. And again, I'm not going to speculate. But what I do know is when a group of people that are supposed to represent you go silent and won't have the conversation, and won't get on social media and say, this is what we're doing, it's a problem. And it makes you look very poorly. And I think that that's where a lot of this disconnect and this trust has been lost with the average person in the county. They don't trust at any level, and I'm not just talking about commissioners. I'm talking anybody. They do not trust our government. And I mean, this is a small town. This is your friends and your neighbors. Like, those people are supposed to trust you because they don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the average person working a job out here, mom and dad are both working. They come home, they've got a couple kids. They run to 2 ball games that night. They're trying to eat dinner at 8 o'clock so they can get the kids to bed to get up and go to school and do the same thing the next day. They don't always have the time to be able to put into following these things because they become convoluted.
Right.
They really do. And that's your job. It's your job to make sure that those people right there are taken care of and they understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not being done. It's just not. And I again, I don't know why. I simply don't understand it. and that's what led us to where we're at. I'd had enough. I mean, some of the things, now, don't get me wrong, some of the actions that have been done are, well, I won't even sugarcoat it. They're illegal. I mean, if you read state code, and most of us can read, it's a pretty easy roadmap to get to, okay, to do these certain things. It's step 1 through step 10, and if you don't do those things, it's illegal. You're wrong. And those things with money, things with approvals, things with, I'm talking not about people here, I'm talking about procedure. And, you know, just like we were talking about before we went on the air about, you know, there are certain things, because I'm running for political office, that you as a radio station have to do because it's controlled through the FCC. Well, it's the same way. I mean, we have mandates. Justin has mandates. The county has mandates of this is how this has to be done. Checks and balances. And if they're not done that way, then no, they're illegal. I mean, I'm sorry. I hate to put it so bluntly, but it's, you can't be in the middle. It's one or the other. It's either done correctly or it's done incorrectly. And on the backside, it's not shared, communicated with the people. So that side, that, you know, that I don't try to get down and, you know, wallow in the mud, so to speak, with a lot of the people out in town. But I'm a huge proponent of procedure and communication, and I strongly feel that if we go back to doing those things and just follow the steps, a lot of this stuff fixes itself. And hopefully, in doing that and communicating with the people, some of that trust starts to come back. And again, that's why I'm here. I mean,
Now, have you had a chance to meet with any of the commissioners, like one-on-one? You don't have to name. I'm just saying, have you had any chance to talk to them
I
a
have.
little bit?
I've spoke to them. I've spoke to a couple of them on multiple occasions about different things, and this goes back, you know, for a good while. This isn't just got to do with this campaign or this race. This is prior to
before
as
you
well.
get your name in the hat.
Yeah, and I follow this stuff. You know, I follow this stuff. Jennifer follows this stuff. We try to stay informed of what's happening. And I finally, you know, after I watched it for I don't know what number of time, I'm like, this is enough, you know. And again, the place where I grew up, I felt obligated. I felt like I have skill sets and leadership and management abilities that would allow me to do that job and do it well. Now, maybe the people will disagree with me, and we're going to find out. But I at least had to put my name on the ballot and see where it went and say, hey, if you'll let me, I'll go do this job and I'll do my best to fix this. Because, you know, like I said, procedure and communication, it's not that hard. It's not that hard of a fix. So why people fight it the way they do it's beyond me. But I think it's not a hard sell to be able to bring it back around.
Well, I think any time that you're feeling that strong about putting, you know, of stepping in, and if you feel this is your timing and you know, feel qualified, I think that's what a person should do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you know, and that's why we've got new people coming out, you know, that have never ran before, and I think that's going to be, and I feel like if the timing and you feel that in your heart and you're part of the community, then you should, right? And it sounds like, you know, you're prepared and you're ready. You know, I think the things that I think it's, we have so many laws that change so much, and I'm talking about, you know, because, you know, there'll be laws from the state that will tell you what you can and can't do, you know.
Exactly.
And that's everybody has somebody they have to answer to. Every board does, or something. And I think that sometimes can get a little more difficult for people to understand that sometimes you can't always do the things you want to do. You know what I mean? And I think that communication, coming up and explaining that, will be
100%.
will be very, very important.
No, I 100% agree. I mean, you follow the rules, you explain yourself, and the way I look at this is there's a very small fraction of anything that happens within county government, city government, state government that has to be conducted in private, behind closed doors. And most of those things deal with pending lawsuits, things with employees, certain issues that invoke other laws, just like your HIPAA oversees your medical rights. There are other laws if you've got an employee that's done something or been hurt or taken a wrong action, that yes, you can't put that out to the public because it's not the public's business about that person. That just goes along with being a boss. But the other 95% of things that come through, if you're making decisions and you're having conversations and you're spending money about it and you can't do it in the middle of a public meeting in front of all the people that put you in that seat, then you don't need to be doing it and you're wrong. And you need to seriously sit back and question, what am I doing here? Because it's wrong. If you can't do that and feel good about it, then don't do it. I don't know how much, I feel crazy sometimes saying these things because they're so simplistic, and people at all levels fight them so hard, and it's depressing to me. I'm like, the people just want to be let in on what's going on. They don't want to be in the dark.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you're spending their money. They're the ones that voted for you and put you in there. So, just like you talked a second ago about, feeling I feel like I need to do this. This is the right thing to do. Well, if you're sitting out there and you're listening to this right now, and you're as aggravated as what I am with the things that you've seen, and I understand that not everybody has the time to run for a political office or do another job, especially if your job's demanding as it is and taking a lot of your time. But what you can do is you can educate yourself and you can go vote. And
preach it.
And
get out and vote.
And that ultimately, if you're watching people, and I hear it all the time, and again, I'm not gonna. I find that a little unprofessional for anybody in a political realm to come on here and just bash people.
Oh. Right.
And that's why I talk.
We're not bashing.
Yeah. But you do hear. The reason I say that is because you do hear that out amongst the public, if you're paying attention. And I mean, you're sitting in office right now, Justin. I'm sure you hear a lot, good and bad, because
both
again,
sides. That's right, Wes.
You're never going to make everybody happy. But what I will say is, if you're not happy, that is your control. That is how you hold accountable. If you don't like something that somebody's doing, when their term is up, vote them out. Or if you love them, vote to keep them in. That's how the system works, and it amazes me. And I don't care to put it out to the world. If you are not strong-willed enough to simply register and then go vote based upon your opinions, your feelings, your morals, whatever the case, then I don't want to hear you complain.
Yeah, I hear that.
And I know that's a little raw.
No, I hear. Yeah, I hear.
But,
yeah.
Because if you're not voting, that's all it is. It's noise and it's complaining, and we don't move forward. We don't see any forward progress with sitting around complaining about things.
Right. Yeah. No, I hear that all the time. Yeah, that's kind of like that ought to just be like on a blanket, on a T-shirt or something,
Well,
right? I mean, it's true. Yeah.
It's a hard thing, and it's I used to hear it all the time in the military, and I put it at the end of my questionnaire. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
There it is.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And,
these are.
And I strongly believe that, not just for the elected official, I believe that for the voter as well.
You got it.
Right.
I mean, come on now. It's one day in May. It's one day in November that it takes you 5 minutes to go in and pencil in. You know, it's not a graded test, folks.
I'm going to have you do a public service announcement. You keep that up, Wes.
And
All
it's
I mean, all of us, everybody, you know, yes, get out and get out and vote and get out there and do it. You know what I mean? Make your voice, and you know, you hear these, oh, my voice, you know, my vote doesn't count. You know, I'm just one person. If everybody thought that way, then.
Well, I felt kind of weird writing it when I did, because I keep going back and when the Times, the Washington County Times sent me that thing, I put a lot of thought into it, and I sat and I mulled over these questions, and I'm like, okay, well, because sometimes when you read written things, or like when somebody sends you a text, it's easy to take it out of context.
You never know how they're saying it.
Yes.
That's where I feel like radio comes into play here, because I can hear, like, if we talk about this all the time.
Yeah, the tone changes.
Exactly.
Yeah, your voice inflection,
From
your
print
tone.
to
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I was writing that, I thought long and hard about, okay, how can this be interpreted? And I said at the end of that, I said, listen, I have certain goals here, and they're not personally driven, they're not financially driven. I don't owe anything back to anybody. I'm just doing this. So here's what I would ask of the public is, if you don't like me and you don't want to vote for me, great, fine. I mean, that's your right as a voter. That's how the system works. But please educate yourself and go vote for the guy that you do like. And I'll caveat on that too is, don't vote on somebody's name, or don't vote because well, that Wes, he's a good guy, he come over and he put an addition on my house one time, or he come over and he fixed my septic system. Okay, great, so I'm good at septic systems. What does that have anything to do with being a commissioner? You know, and I kind of ask the general public in that to ask the questions that you want answers to. Don't be the wallflower. Like, when these people are running for office, ask the hard questions and make them answer them. And vote for a person based on who they are. You want to know that they're a good person and they're honest and they're moral, but you also want to know where they stand on things. That's what separates people in a race. And I don't want people voting for me based on, oh, well, I know his name, let me go ahead and fill that in. I want you voting for me because you agree with me, because you think I'm going to best represent you, and that you can trust me that if you have a problem that falls over into the lane of that office that I'm going to hold, that you can trust that I'm going to take care of it, or that I'm going to be approachable enough for you to come to me with it. Because all these things that I'm talking about don't happen right now. I mean, I'm not saying, well, I'll take that back. I'm not saying they don't happen at all. They don't happen with certain offices or certain positions, and they don't happen in the manner that they should. And that's a problem to me. That's a huge problem to me. Is I feel like the people of this county are not heard. Their financial resources are somewhat taken advantage of, and it's done so in a manner where it doesn't matter what you say. I'm sitting here, this is what we're doing. Tough luck. That's not how it works. And I'm sure the people out there can hear it in my voice, but that makes me a little angry. It really does. But like I say, what are you going to do about it? Where's your power lie? Well, for everybody out there listening, it's on that ballot.
So, as commissioner too, I mean, you'll be going. I mean, if several meetings, but also you'll have to work with the county council. And how do you feel like that bridge? How do you feel? Do you have any? Have you thought about that? You got any comments on that, or what do you?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I've got comments for you for days because this
Okay.
is all I do.
Well,
is,
this is the beautiful interview, then, Mayor. We
Well,
like comments. Keep going.
the
Yeah.
more you know, when you
Yeah.
when you sit around and you read about this stuff, and every time you read one thing, it leads you into three other things, and you keep going down the rabbit hole. And unfortunately, the rabbit holes that I'm finding, there's they're depressing. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it. They're not functioning. In a lot of cases, I'm not saying there's not people in our county that are doing great things, because there are. And I don't want to seem 100% negative, but we're not where we need to be. And speaking on the council, and I've expressed this to some of the sitting council already, is they well, one, some of the things that I talked about that are illegal is because it didn't go through that council. Okay, the council is essentially the checkbook. Well, the approver of the checkbook, I guess. You know, and for those out there listening, I guess the easiest way I can say it is commissioners come up with a project. Hey, we've identified a need. This needs to be done. They put the people in place. They put a budget together. They approve it by majority vote, and then it goes to the council for funding, right? Well, it's not just because, oh, well, they have the money and we have to ask them. No, this is a check and balance process to make sure that things are legitimate, to make sure that on not just here in Washington County, but on any level in the state, that they're not dirty. I don't have somebody fraudulently doing something with the money or embezzling money, whatever, because you've got multiple layers that it has to go through to approve these things. And I am not just a fan of doing it the right way. Obviously, I want to do the procedures, but my other thought is as things are coming up that will involve both sides, I think they need to be more involved. Even if the commissioners can do these things on their own, or vice versa, if the council can do it on their own, like there's a lot of budget items that the council they don't have to ask the commissioners. They can just do it. But they should, because at the end of the day, you've got three commissioners. You've got how many people on the council? 7?
Mm-hmm.
So you tell me, is 3 heads or 10 heads better to discuss this problem? And my view of it is even if I can trump you, I don't have to have you vote on this. I don't have to have council approval. I've got 7 other people there that are supposed to be professional enough that the county elected them in to do this job. So I'm assuming that you're pretty smart at your profession or multiple professions. Why would I not want your opinion? Because the more input you get, ultimately the better you can make a decision, and the better you can serve the people that you're all working for. And I've said this and it's not, it doesn't stop with the council. The commissioners are over multiple departments. You know, you've got a lot of time with the sheriff's department. You've got the highway department. You've got all these other offices within the courthouse. All of those offices have a department head, a full-time department head, that in a lot of cases those people have been there for a long time. They know the backstory, they know the state regulation, they know inside and out how that job is supposed to be done. So who am I, if the people were to decide to elect me, who am I to come in there and say, I've got a better way, you don't know what you're doing? No, the right thing for me to do is say, hey, I have to make decisions on this, and I want to make sure I'm doing the right ones. Can you explain this to me? Can you help me? You tell me what, because their expertise obviously is far greater than what yours is. Nobody knows everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that for a lot of people, that's a really hard pill to swallow, because the more humble you are, the better you are as a manager. And I don't care if that's political, if it's in a factory somewhere, if it's in a company, if you're whatever you're doing, if you're humble enough to understand that you're not always the smartest guy or girl in the room, you'll get a lot farther. And I had that explained to me in, at times, very physical fashion a long time ago as a very young man, that this is how you run things. This is how you lead. This is how you be in charge. And you identify the strengths and weaknesses of the people that are working under you. It's not the seat. The seat that I'm running for is designed to be a part-time job. Honestly, I mean, if you look, get on the county, look up salaries, and look at what the clerk makes, the auditor makes, versus a commissioner. Commissioner's about half. Well, why is that? Well, it's because these people have full-time jobs. They have offices within the courthouse that have office hours. And I'm not saying that I'm discounting the effort or the time that goes into that job, but in its inception, it's supposed to be a part-time job. It's no different from county council. That's supposed to be a part-time job. You are an overseer, a thumbs up, thumbs down person. You're supposed to make educated choices based on the things that these other people that you're managing are doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, in a nutshell. And I don't know. I could go about this for a long time, but like I said, humility will take you a long way. And I think there's a lot of people that are capable in our county government of doing a lot more, but they're not being allowed to. Whether that's because of personal reasons or personal ambitions, ego, what, I don't know. I'm completely speculating at this point, but if you put a person in a position, let them do their job.
True.
That's why they're there.
True.
Well, I agree with that. Yeah, I think that's a fair statement.
I think
yeah,
so.
Definitely. Well, and I think it's good for you to let everyone know that you're going to. It's very valuable for you to meet with the different heads and departments and find out what their needs are, what their their what they feel, or their opinions too, because that's wisdom right there, finding out from others what they feel. And I think that will serve anyone well to find that out.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
So you just got a couple of minutes left. What would you say? Like, why would a person vote for Wes Bowers for Washington County Commissioner?
Well, I think we've covered a lot of it, and I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody how great and wonderful and so on that I am. I believe that I have the skills necessary to do this job and do it well. And I believe it important to listen to the people in this county and what their wants and needs are, and make sure that they understand what you're doing. And how can I say this without sounding really bad? There are a lot of people, some of them running against me, some of them not, that have literally bounced around county, city, whatever government for decades. And it's I read everything that comes out that regarding this rate, not just commissioners, but county council. I read everything. We keep going in this circle of the same people bouncing around positions, trying to do the same thing. And here's the bottom line is, if it was going to work, it would have worked by now. And I wouldn't even have a reason to be sitting here, because I wouldn't have been upset to begin with, because things would have been running correctly. And that's, again, not just at the commissioner level, that's at all levels. And that's something, and that goes back to the public before we end this, of asking the hard questions. Don't take it at face value right this minute. Okay, well, we've been here round and round and round, so press on that. Ask these people the questions. Well, what have you done? Ask me the questions. What do you intend to do? I'm the only guy that I see on here begging people to ask me uncomfortable things because I want to answer them. Because when you go to vote for me, I want you to feel like that is the 100% right thing to do. Because you've talked to me, you know where I stand, you know where my morals are, you know the kind of guy that I am, and I want you to have faith and confidence in me to do the job that you're voting for me to do. And if you're not doing that to the others, then that's a problem. And I keep coming back around to that. Even if you don't vote for me, don't care. Just please do your due diligence. And I think if we all do that, we'll have a much better outcome, and I'll hear a lot less things when I go to lunch. So.
Okay. And on the ballot, it will say, what is it, Wes Bowers? Is that how it will read on the ballot?
I assume so.
Okay. Well, you would have filled it out.
Again,
yeah.
I've not done this before,
okay.
so.
But when you filled out how you're going to
yeah,
be on
yeah.
the
I think
ballot,
it says.
said,
I think it said Wesley, and then it said
Wes,
like
that's
the
what I was
West
gonna say.
in parentheses.
There it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that's what I wanted to make sure. Okay, so that if anybody is, wanting to know that, how to read that. Okay.
Yeah, and very quickly before I get off here, I also wanted to put out there, I mentioned putting out videos and things on a weekly basis. You can find that on Facebook at West for Commissioner if you want to get on and watch these things and kind of keep up with me as this race continues on. And the last item that I have is on February 21st at H&R Bakery up here. I'll be doing a meet and greet. No agenda, nothing written out, just me and whatever questions you want to ask. So if there are people that don't know me that would like to get to know me, or you have specific questions on issues, I invite you to please stop by and have a chat, support a local business. I mean, who doesn't like donuts?
Mm-hmm.
So come on by, and I'm an open book.
All right. Well, appreciate, and this has been paid for Wes Bowers for Washington County Commissioner.
Wes Bowers for Commissioner.
Wes Bowers for Commissioner. Make sure I get it right. All right. And let's thank our sponsors, Mayor.
Please would like to thank Mediview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rosa's, Fox Pearly Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, McAllister Land Consulting, Springer & Springer Insurance, Schneck Hospital, and Temple & Temple.
All right. Thank you to our great sponsors. Again, Wes and the whole community, anyone wants to come over, don't forget we'll be doing a food drive this Saturday from 9 to noon.
Cram the van.
Cram the van.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you Saturday.
Saturday.
All right. Have a great day. Help celebrate WSLM's 73rd birthday and the community this Valentine's Day with a community food drive at Salem's Walmart for the Washington County Food Bank in collaboration with the City of Salem. It's easy. Stop by Walmart on Saturday, February 14th from 9 a.m. to noon and shop and donate items to the Washington County Food Bank. We'll collect the items, and the City of Salem will help us deliver them to those who are in need at the food bank. I'm proud to keep the legacy of WSLM alive and very happy to continue serving the Kentuckiana communities with local news, sports, and weather, plus continuing to bring Indiana University sports to the area for the past 73 years. Come by Salem's Walmart on Saturday, February 14th, from 9 a.m. until noon to help us stock the shelves of the Washington County Food Bank. See you there. Looking for the perfect Valentine's gift? Skip the flowers, go Totally Baked. Totally Baked Sweets in Salem has cookies, brownies, cupcakes, and new Valentine treats coming soon. Open 7 to 5 weekdays, 8 to 1 on Saturdays, and closed on Sundays. Find them at 1305 West Mulberry Street right here in Salem. Or call 812-844-2831. Totally Baked Sweets, Salem's sweetest stop.
This is Connie Ray from Outside the Walls, and once again, we're here to tell you all about our Love Dinner for this year. It's our annual fundraiser. This is our 5th one, And we're excited to invite you to a dinner. It is going to be on Valentine's Day, so bring your sweetheart and join us for a wonderful lasagna dinner. It is free of charge, and we will serve you. We will have a silent auction and a dessert auction. We would love for you to come and be a part of it. It's going to be on February 14th at Southern Hills Church at 5 p.m. You can RS.
Welcome to the Rick Burgess Show. The voice of reason for an unreasonable world. Lighten up, Francis. Here we go.
A brand new hour of the Rick Burgess Show is running. If you missed the first 3 hours, go back and catch it on the daily archive, either on our podcast channel, our YouTube channel. Some new stuff there now. The Wednesday Bible study, brand new archive from yesterday, Ephesians chapter 3, if you so desire. All right, so also we got a new Strange Encounters. We'll record today. We'll get into the world of Epstein and all of that, the clear demonic underlyings there, but we'll go beyond some of that. And the Strange Encounters is now kind of Blaze TV. It's kind of building its own platform. This is now should be our 27th episode that we've already done, right? Mm-hmm. And with it, or will this be 27 this weekend? It's 28 this weekend, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah. So, you know, these things are picking up momentum, and so now Blaze TV is wanting to kind of develop its own Strange Encounters universe, if you will. So there's now a Strange Encounters YouTube channel. That is Strange Encounters Rick. Look for that. There's a Facebook, Strange Encounters, facebook.com/Strange Encounters, Instagram, Strange Encounters _Blaze TV, and then on TikTok, @Strange